Hey, what's up guys? Lee here, WYSE Construction. We're up on the Hamilton Mountain and we're back at one of our conversions. This one is a basement conversion with an ADU in the backyard. We've been here for probably a couple months now. We're not going to be able to get the ADU done until springtime, but we are almost done the basement. I was here last week and tiles are done, kitchen's in, floor's in. So now we're just finishing off with all the tie-ins. Tie-ins meaning all the faucets, the appliances, and just all the things that require basically a screwdriver to attach to the wall. So client bought this property as a turnkey investment, and we were just supposed to update the fire rating on the ceiling in the basement. And it turns out that when we started opening things up, there was no beam, the ceiling was about to fall in, the joists are all split, they completely did the plumbing wrong. And then when we started pulling back some of the walls, there was no insulation, and they also used 2x2s and casings for strapping on the walls. Anyways, it was pretty badly and pretty poorly done, so we ended up ripping out and gutting the entire basement and redoing everything from scratch. So client was absolutely amazing to work with, easygoing guy, which we're gonna go check it out, and it turned out very, very well. We're gonna do a walkthrough, follow me, and we'll go inside and we'll check her out. So we're in the basement. It's a bungalow, and we're in the basement of the basement conversion. This started out as a finished home where we pretty much put a tenant upstairs right away. In the basement, we just needed to do the fire separation, which turned into an entire complete renovation because the previous contractor hid a lot of things. Whether it was the contractor, the homeowner, whoever it was, don't know. But anyways, we had to rip everything out and start everything from scratch. So upstairs complete, there's tenants that are already living upstairs. We put them in there right away. Basement, waiting to finalize and finish off on all the final tie-ins. Other than that, I think we've been here for about 3 months. We do have a ADU that we're doing in the backyard. We've run all the services, we've already done the excavation, everything's been done in the backyard. However, the permits came in too late, so we were not able to get the foundation poured. So we're gonna wait until springtime to do that. But let's take a quick walk around. All right, so we're gonna check out what's left here, what's remaining. Guys are almost done everything. I think the appliances we have coming in the next day or two. And what I meant by the tie-ins is we just gotta connect all the finished plumbing, faucets, get all the electrical outlets fastened to the walls. This one we decided to do quartz backsplash. I think it's a nicer look. It just matches the countertop. No grout lines. Everybody does subway tile. We do the feature walls. Again, client didn't ask for this stuff. We like to do things a little bit different, make it look a little bit more custom. It's not expensive to do. It's pretty easy to do. We did some wainscoting. Also, we're using a different floor. We're using a different floor now. We're not using vinyl. We're finding that the vinyl's just cheap and breaks. So we switched to laminate, waterproof laminate now. And the other thing we're doing is we're using an R-value subfloor. So it does raise the height up a little bit. And in some areas where is an issue, we have to be a little bit careful with that because there are building codes to the amount of height, obviously. But this is a much, much, much better, softer, nicer, way more comfortable floor than vinyl. A couple of the things we do a little bit different just to make these places look more custom is we like to do some wainscoting. Again, pretty simple to do, not hard. We paint the islands as well whenever we're doing islands or peninsulas. This one's painted in, I think the color that people really like today are greens, lighter tones than the grays. So we're going beige and greens these days versus the blacks and grays. We go to the bedrooms. There's 2 bedrooms in this basement. It's decent sized bedroom, so we put the feature walls again in the bedrooms. We think it's a nice touch. Not only do the clients like it, but when tenants come down, they seem to really love the feature walls as well. Large closet, nothing special, standard, but nice sized closet. All pot lights down here. We have our washer and dryer closet. Again, we're going with side-by-side machines. We'll move that. So side-by-sides, these are not the machines that are staying here. We're gonna put 2 front loaders, and then we're gonna build probably a butcher block or a bamboo table on top, just as a folding table. Again, a little bit, something a little bit nicer. We find laundry is very important. All right, so this is the other bedroom. It's pretty much carbon copy of the other bedrooms. A little bit bigger, this one, again with the feature wall. Pretty standard closet, decent size, nothing special. Bathroom is gonna be pretty cool. So doing something a little bit different here. Don't know, we're gonna see how it works out. But so we have a 60-inch vanity. If you can see this line here, that's 60 inches from the wall. And what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be running almost like a blue-green, almost like a turquoise mosaic tile from the top of the vanity all the way up the wall. And we're gonna be recessing and installing, because we have a double sink vanity coming in here. We're gonna be recessing and installing 2 medicine cabinets. This side of the wall, we're gonna be matching the floor tile going right up the wall. And then we have this little bump out here we needed for the shower return wall. We're gonna be building some, just putting some shelves in there. Again, nothing special, but using the space that we have, and it's nice to have a couple shelves in here. So this will be pretty cool when it's finished. We ran large tiles, so they're 24 by 48s, and same tile that we're using on the floor, we also ran as the tub surrounds. We use all Moen finishes across the board, so we get the quality, we get the reliability. If we ever need to change a cartridge, we can just go in and swap it right away. We like Moen because they're tried and they're true. Not to push Moen against any other product, but for us, that's what we prefer and that's what the clients prefer. So something else that's very important about these projects when you guys are doing them for to put tenants down here is waterproofing, or if you're doing internal waterproofing, I call it water redirection, or anyways, water management. So when we come and look at these type of projects and evaluate them. This one in particular, when we gutted everything, we ran a moisture meter along the wall. Not that that is always going to show everything, but we look for signs of effervescence. We look for signs of any type of leaking through the foundation, any type of water penetration. However, we will always recommend waterproofing to every client, because I do find that a lot of these basements leak eventually, and it's a lot easier to deal with doing the waterproofing when they're vacant, when they're completely gutted, versus dealing with the tenants when they're in here and having a water issue. Now, a typical bungalow in the Hamilton is about 1,000 square feet average, which is roughly about 100 linear feet of waterproofing. So you're gonna have 40-40 or 30-30 on your exterior walls, and your front wall and your back wall is going to be another 20 and 20. So roughly about 100 square feet average. The average price to do one of these jobs, interior waterproofing, is about $7,500. So it's not a huge investment to spend, and it's an investment worthwhile spending, which could save you potentially $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 down the road by doing it early. So we always recommend it. We will always get a client to sign a waiver that we did have that conversation, and it's something we always recommend. So this is how we come up with a typical budget and estimate for doing exterior waterproofing on a bungalow. A typical bungalow, again, is roughly about 30 to 40 feet long by anywhere from 20 to 30 feet wide. So again, 100 linear feet to 120 linear feet. Pretty simple formula. We take the length, we take the width, we times it by 2, and then we have a set price that we're using either for interior waterproofing or exterior waterproofing. So I'll bring you guys on a tour and I'll show you what's going through my head when I'm looking at how to price out these type of jobs. So looking at the exterior of this house, as we walk down, and as you guys can see, we've already dug out a huge portion of this, and we've actually already done the waterproofing because we had to run the services. Let's jump back up here. So we're about 40 feet in length, and I have a standard formula for a project like this because we already had to do the excavation. So this side of the house was roughly about $6,000 to do the delta, new weeping tile, drainage, and completely treat the exterior of the house so it's watertight. Hey guys, wintertime obviously, and we are doing a big push on awareness for waterproofing because springtime's coming up, everything's gonna melt, and we're gonna start seeing a lot of water coming into your houses. So we're gonna be running a big promotion, and we're gonna be doing a big push on waterproofing. So you're gonna see on our promotions for waterproofing, we're not gonna run them too long until we book up probably the first 20 clients. So check it out, get back to us if you're interested, shoot me a DM. Again, we've been doing waterproofing for a very long time. We know what we're doing, and it's a huge focus of ours.